Hello and welcome to City Critters. I'm Kimberly Chandler. Today we're talking about the Great Virginia City Cat House Rescue. It's a story that you won't want to miss and is guaranteed to touch your heart. Plus, find out about our upcoming holiday events and see how you can get involved and spend the holidays here at Nevada Humane Society.
I'm afraid to open my eyes. I'm afraid yesterday was all a dream, and I'll wake up and still be in the shelter. 1, 2, 3.
About a month ago, we started a journey that would soon touch the hearts of many people in the community and help the community come together to save the lives of 26 innocent cats. It's called the Great Virginia City Cat House Rescue, and it all began when we received a phone call from the Story County Sheriff's Department. Rick Hoover, a longtime resident of Virginia City, passed away in early October. Story County Sheriff's deputies were called because there's an unknown number of cats living in Rick's home, and it wasn't clear who was caring for them. Deputies were told by a nearby animal shelter that the cats would more than likely be deemed unadoptable, and therefore their future would be uncertain. Story County sheriffs decided that this was unacceptable and called us at Nevada Humane Society. Typically, Nevada Humane Society only serves Washoe County, not neighboring areas. However, due to a sincere plea from the Story County Sheriff's Deputy, and after much discussion, we decided to step in and make a difference in the lives of these cats. We decided to call our journey the Great Virginia City Cat House Rescue, attempting to make light of the situation and yet convey the seriousness at the same time. I was asked to be a part of the Nevada Humane Society rescue team, and never having done anything like this, I hesitated. However, knowing the difference I could make and the experience I could gain in order to help other animals in the future, I said yes. And day one in the Great Virginia City Cat House Rescue begins here.
Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Maybe you should go to your shelter and get a mature dog who will make your blues disappear. How's that for tricks? I got picked. Wow.
Welcome back to City Critters. You might have seen the recent media coverage of a particular cat rescue in Virginia City. I was actually part of that rescue, and today I'm sharing the story of how we saved the lives of 26 cats. I was asked to be a part of the Nevada Humane Society rescue team, and day one for me began a journey like no other. Myself, along with another employee, headed to Virginia City to meet the detectives assigned to the case, and to see for ourselves how many cats needed our help. The weather was cold, with snow, rain, and gray skies. With a detective escorting us, we pulled up in front of the home and were introduced to a young woman who was the ex-wife of the gentleman who passed away. She also had concern for the cats, but did not know how to handle the situation. She did, however, continually say how grateful she was that we stepped in and said she would do anything to help. She led us up the stairs to the second floor of the home, which is where the cats were living. Upon pulling open a heavy makeshift door, our eyes met the first kitty in need of rescue, a little black and white one, who showed no fear and looked right back at us. The living conditions were less than sanitary, and we immediately knew that we could not enter the home without proper clothing and supplies. In turn, I pulled out our camera and began to take photos of the home, including the cats. My first head count yielded 12 cats that needed to be rescued. Thanks to a rough economy, Nevada Humane Society is seeing more and more cats being turned into our shelter every day. And in turn, we knew that we could not bring the Virginia City cats back to Reno right away. Typically, in situations like this, only seeing 12 cats means there are still many, many more that need to be rescued. In fact, what we were seeing on day one was probably only a third of what needed our help. With that number of cats and the space limitations at our shelter, we knew we had to come up with a plan because they couldn't come back with us to Reno right away. We scoured the Virginia City area, visiting local businesses to find out if anyone would let us house the kitties until they found new homes. Not having much luck, we ended day one and headed back to Reno. Upon talking with our director, we decided to continue looking for a place to keep the cats in Virginia City. We wanted to be able to make them available for adoption there because so much of the community knew Rick Hoover, the gentleman that passed away. We thought in honor of him, if the cats were adopted to his fellow neighbors, we would find a nice way to keep his memory alive. Not long after we began our search for a temporary adoption center, the Silverland Inn and Suite stepped forward, offering not only to keep the cats as long as we needed, but allowing our staff and volunteers to stay there as well. With that confirmed, the Great Virginia City Cat Rescue began in full. The following day, a team was assembled and headed to Virginia City. Once again, the detective was on site to escort us, as were a few other regular visitors. Red Rover, a national group who helps bring animals from crisis to care, was also on hand. They had stepped up and volunteered their time for 10 days during the mission to help us out in any way that we needed. The first day, we spent the entire time inside the home, searching for cats and setting humane traps to rescue those that we couldn't catch with our own bare hands. The cats, although they had no fear in their eyes, hid in things, around things, and under things. And unfortunately, in a cluttered home, that makes rescue efforts nearly impossible. However, persistence prevailed because that day we were able to rescue 11 cats and bring them back here to Nevada Humane Society for the vet care that they needed. The 11 cats that came back to the shelter with us received their needed vet treatment. They were spayed and neutered, vaccinated, and microchipped. Red Rover stayed in Virginia City to set up the temporary adoption center, and luck was with us because we were able to get carriers, kennels, food, litter, and more donated by PetSmart charities. And that's not all, because most of the cats that we brought back were in good shape, just in need of a warm bath and several big meals. The following day, we returned the 11 cats to Virginia City, and with the assistance of Red Rover, had them set up in their temporary adoption center right away. The rescue team then descended back upon the home to continue the rescue efforts, and once again, we were successful. 6 more cats were rescued, and just as before, we brought them back to the shelter for vet care that night. We repeated this process for a week, with the final cat being rescued and named accordingly Champ, as he was the last one to cross the finish line. No, that's not this little gal that I have in my lap here, but she is also available for adoption, so feel free to come meet her as well. Now with Champ, the journey didn't end there. He actually turned out to be a she, so we renamed her Champy and brought her back for her vet care as the final cat to be rescued from Virginia City. We had named the cats, 26 in total, and began the process of getting to know them. Many of them were scared, shy, timid, and not familiar with human interaction. While we don't know how they were treated when they lived in the home, we do know the community told us that Rick Hoover was known for his cats. They said he would do anything for them, loved them more than life itself. That being said, animals still have emotion, and we're sure that on top of the grief they felt, there was fear, because despite the simple fact we were truly saving their lives, it was a situation unfamiliar to them. As the days passed, several of the cats began coming out of their shell and letting their personalities shine. Still, there were many that remained closed off, and this became a challenge. We had since talked to the media, and the story of these wonderful kitties was going public and spreading quickly. All 26 were available for adoption at Silverland Inn and Suites, and everybody wanted to see them, to meet them, and to find out how they were doing. Potential adopters, though, were far and few between. We stressed to people that because of a frightening situation, these cats would not arrive at their new home and be ready to play. They would take time, patience, extra love, and attention. They would need to learn to trust before they could become socialized and confident. And then, Pixie was the first little kitty to get adopted. Pixie's adoption opened our eyes to the good of the community and the awareness for the cause. She went to a great home with a couple who lived in California who had heard about the Virginia City cats on the news and had driven over specifically to adopt one of them. It was then that we knew no matter how long it took, we had to find loving homes for all 26 of the Virginia City cats. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and 10 of the Virginia City cats have been adopted. We then bring the remaining cats back to Reno, to Nevada Humane Society, and continue sharing their story, as I'm doing now. Several are still very timid, but as they get to know you, they relax. I can honestly say that for myself, the amount of time that I spent with all the Virginia City cats, With Gracie, for example, and Buster, you'll see him too, he's actually running around. It made a really big difference because the more comfortable they got with us, the more they began to come out of their shell, and they wanted people to meet them and see who they were all about. Gracie here, we jokingly call her the choir director because she's that talkative. She'll get everybody going and then everybody in the room will be talking. And she's a sweet little girl. She is still looking for a home though. So again, if you're ready to put that patience and time and love into a new cat, she would be perfect for you. There are still 8 cats from Virginia City that need a good home. Again, Gracie's one of them. Buster's another. Champy, right behind me here over my shoulder, she also needs a good home. And although they're here now at Nevada Humane Society and no longer in Virginia City, I have no doubt that the community will come together and step forward to find these guys and gals the loving homes that they so need. Because once they get into that home, it'll be a second chance for them at a wonderful, long, happy, healthy life. If you're interested in adopting one of the Virginia City cats, like Champy here, please come down to Nevada Humane Society and visit them today. There are 8 of them that still need loving homes, and we're hoping that they find the right family and that way they can get on with their lives and get the second chance they so deserve. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
I knew it! I knew it!
Oh, this isn't good. I was a gift from him to her. I'm going to the animal shelter, which isn't necessarily bad. I just hate the stigma associated with shelter pets. People will think I bite or that I spray everywhere. They're the ones with problems. I'm totally fine. Adopt me, you'll see. I'm gonna go pack.
I can't even believe you! And she has a mustache!
The Great Virginia City Cat House Rescue was an experience like no other, but I can honestly say that I'm glad we said yes, because we saved 26 lives. And now each of those cats will bring a joy to their new home unlike any other. And everyone who has helped can be proud that such a positive difference was made in the lives of these cats. Finally, one last way you can get involved with the homeless pets this holiday season is by participating in our Home for the Holidays movement. It's actually a national pet adoption drive that was started many years ago and is now finding dogs and cats all over the country good homes so that they wake up on Christmas morning, on New Year's morning, and any other winter holiday with a new home. Here at Nevada Humane Society, our Home for the Holidays drive kicks off on November 18th and runs through January 3rd. It's a great way to help these guys like you see around me. Give them a home, bring them toys, treats, food, anything you can think of to offer them a way that they can be happy for the holidays. We'll have several different events, so be sure to check our website, www.nevadahumanesociety.org, to see what we have going on. Events start on the 18th of November and run through January. Thanks again for watching City Critters. We hope you'll join us again next time.